Thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. We have three special guests in the studio today. First, we will talk to Brady Barke, SEMO Director of Athletics. Next, we meet SEMO's head basketball coach, Brad Korn. We'll then meet with Rob Gilligan, the President and CEO of the Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce. That's all next on Cape Chronicle.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Welcome to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. Brady Barke has been the official director of athletics for Southeast Missouri State University since 2016. In that time, SEMO has seen unprecedented success. They've won 20 OVC championships since 2019, most recently men's basketball. SEMO's student athletes have also set records academically, achieving their highest departmental GPA in the last 7 years. Brady? That's a mouthful. That's a big introduction.
It is. Well, thank you for that. Lots of great memories and lots of great moments for our student athletes and our university, our community.
So since 2016, you've been running the show at the athletic department, but you've been with SEMO for a while now.
Yeah, I've actually been since 2008. My wife and I came here, and I've kind of had the opportunity to move on to some different responsibilities, and since 2015 and 2016 permanently been able to lead the athletics department, and feel like we've had the opportunity to do some really special things during that time, and hopefully many more to come.
So was that always kind of an end goal for you to be ahead of an athletic department?
Still days I wonder what I want to do when I grow up. It wasn't really the goal. As a matter of fact, I think I told my wife 3 to 5 years and we'd move on. But we really kind of fell in love with Cape Girardeau and the community, and we've had 3 children and we've been raising our family here, and it's been a great place to call home. And
you mentioned that you are an SIU graduate.
So I graduated from law school from SIU, and I did my undergraduate work in St. Louis at Webster University. I had an opportunity to play basketball and golf there, and then I earned my MBA from here at SEMO. So yeah, lifelong learner, I guess.
So as we mentioned in the intro, and we can't glaze over this, 20 OVC championships since 2019. You hear it, people want to support a winning program, and I'm not certain how it gets any more winning than 20 titles since 2019.
Yeah, and what's really cool about that is it's not just a couple of our programs. Every one of our sports programs have actually won a championship in that time. And so to have that across the board is really neat. But as you think about our student athletes, one of the things we tell them when they come here is that we want them to walk across the stage, receive their college diploma with a championship ring on their fingers. And for the last several years, virtually all of them have had the opportunity to do that. And that's a really neat thing.
Yeah, that's an amazing visual.
Yeah.
So what would you, obviously I know you lead the department, what do you attribute to the success?
To me, I think it all starts with people. We have been really fortunate to not only have some really talented and dedicated staff, but our coaches that we have. People that have chosen to make a career developing young people through sport. And again, that's one of those stats where almost every one of our coaches have had an opportunity to win Coach of the Year and be recognized as the best coach in their sport in our league.
Sure.
And what's really neat is that we've retained all of them. And so having the continuity, the ability to continue to build on something. And so it's been a process. It's been something that has been building for several years. And they say iron sharpens iron, and I think that's what we've seen. I think we've seen a lot of coaches that have really kind of gotten around the table with each other and talked about how they've done it and developed one another. And it's a special culture that I think we have right now, and I think that's where it all starts.
You mentioned that retention. We look at some of your coaches that you have that have been here for several years now. There's something special that makes them stay. Yeah,
and I mean, I think certainly part of it is the community. I think, at least I hope part of it is that they understand that we haven't reached our ceiling. We have an opportunity to continue to build upon what we've been able to do, and so now you're not just talking about winning those conference championships we mentioned, but now you're talking about what can you do in an NCAA tournament, and can you have an opportunity to be a Cinderella story in the NCAA basketball tournament, or can you have an opportunity to be a top seed in the football playoffs, or those types of things, and people see that there's more still to be accomplished here, and that's neat when you know that you haven't reached your full potential yet.
I know part of that is community buy-in, community support to facilities and that sort of thing. And as I drove down Broadway today, there was a lot of construction. It seems busier than ever at Houck Stadium. I know it's a big project on your plate right now.
Yeah, it's a huge project, and I think to your comment, it takes everybody. More so now than ever in college athletics, this arms race of facilities and name, image, likeness, and just resource development, I think, has to be as great as it's ever been, and I think it takes the community. It takes people willing to step up and say, hey, we want to continue this momentum and create something. The Houck project is kind of the start of that. I think that's going to be something that's going to develop us for the next 50 years, and it's a big undertaking. We're just really in the first phase of it, but by this fall, people are going to see something new that they haven't seen in almost 100 years at Houck, and then how do we take that momentum and build on it to create something different, for the future too. And so it's an exciting time. There's no better time to be a Red Hawk and to be a supporter, and just privileged to have the opportunity to lead the department.
Have just a minute or so left. So quick glimpse, what will that phase one finished product look like?
Yeah, we're going to have about 4,000 seats added back into the stadium, and so that entire south side will be rebuilt. We'll have a new entrance, handicap accessibility for people to be able to get in and out, new concessions, new restrooms. Apparently restrooms are a really exciting thing. People want to have great amenities, and so and then we're going to replace the turf and have a new playing surface this fall. When people come in, they'll see that completely refreshed, and so it should be a lot of fun when we open up in September at home.
So you mentioned football, I know, but obviously soccer team plays there as well.
Yep.
So it's going to be a new facility for a couple different teams.
Yeah, and I think we'll actually be able to do kind of a grand opening for both of them. And when soccer gets a chance to have their first one, they'll get to open it, and then we'll do the same again with football. And so it should be a lot of fun come this fall as people get to come in and see that for themselves for the first time.
Well, this goes quick. I know we could talk forever about SEMO athletics, but congratulations to you, to the department, for all the success. And we're going to talk with Brad Korn, obviously basketball. Wanted to save some of the basketball for him, but congratulations on the latest OVC title with men's basketball as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we've been talking with SEMO Athletic Department Director Brady Barke. Next, we'll talk with Brad Korn, SEMO's head basketball coach. That's coming up. Stay tuned.
people think that online degrees are very daunting and they're very nervous because it's in your hands, but it actually gives you the power and the flexibility to be able to complete those tasks whenever you have the time to do it. I definitely wish SEMO keeps expanding those online degrees because they're beneficial. They made or break my career.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. Brad Korn is SEMO's head basketball coach, and this year the men's basketball team won the OVC Conference Championship for the first time in 23 years and had 19 wins on the season. He was introduced as head coach in 2020. Coach, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a very interesting last month of the season, to say the least, but it's been really everything that you could have hoped for and then probably a little bit more.
I know you've had a lot of experience with going to the NCAA tournament, never as a head coach. Was it different?
You know what, it was unique. Different, of course, because you are the head coach, but to be able to walk out there and again, you have to understand to be able to live out that dream that a lot of people don't get to do.
Sure.
To be able to say that you coached in an NCAA tournament, that's a pretty special moment. So to be able to take time and take that all in, I'll tell you the best part is probably just being a part of the practice sessions, just getting there in a much calmer, less tense, less pressure situation, obviously in practice.
Sure.
But just to be able to be a part of that and get to talk to the commentators and see the guys interact, and our coaches got to go and their sons were there, and just all those memories that you get from that experience, it's really something that you can't quantify any other kind of way.
So you started with the program in 2020, and I know that came with its challenges, to say the least. Right. I know recruiting was all crazy, and but you've navigated through those, and I know the season itself was probably filled with challenges, but you know at the end you sat there as OVC champions.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, especially coaches, everyone gets caught in the highs and the lows of a season, and coaches really coach for everything in the middle, and we had a lot of those highs and lows, just with injuries, illness, and everything else, even dating back to 2020. You're talking about the pandemic, and then you follow that back with a portal, and now NIL. There's just been a lot of things that you've had to navigate throughout the process of trying to build a championship level team, and so to be able to do that, to win 4 games in 4 days is no small task. It's not like we got lucky. We just finally got to play our best basketball at the end, and to be able to do that is a testament to our guys and the toughness that they showed. It's not easy to power through a season like that, and they did, and a testament to the staff as well.
That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, what did it take to, the 4 games in 4 days, when it's win or go home? What differences did you see out of the guys, out of the team in general in those 4 games?
Mike, the funny thing is when we got to the hotel in Evansville on that Tuesday night, there was just a calmness about our whole team. I think they knew exactly what the mission was. We knew exactly how to do that. Everybody we played, we had beat in the regular season to that point. So I don't think that there was any kind of fear factor going into it. It just was like, all right, this is it. We have to play and we have to win, otherwise we will be going home. And then ultimately, you know what that prize is at the end. The NCAA tournament. And that's something that we had talked about long before. And I really don't think that there's anything special. Chris Harris played at a very, very high level, tournament MVP. Philip Russell had a great season all throughout. So I think all things just kind of clicked at the right time, at the right moment, which is what you have to have in March basketball.
I know there was the watch party for you guys. What a great turnout at the Show Me Center. What a great event, and had to feel good just to kind of see the community come in and support you guys. Yeah,
we've worked hard for that, to bridge that gap between the community and our program, and to have open arms and open doors to get people excited about the program again. And it was one of those things I wanted the experiences of our players to have. That's something I remember from my college days, of having those types of experiences, but it's also a risk. Because if you open up the doors and no one comes, then you may look a little foolish. So give our community a ton of credit. And we could feel the momentum build at the Show Me Center in our regular season games all throughout the season. And then to have that kind of cap it off, I thought that was pretty remarkable by our community to step up and show that for our players, because they took a big notice of that.
So when you're on the recruiting trail, I know talent is something that you are obviously always looking after. But when you get them in the program, what are those separators? I've heard you talk about legacy and those types of things. What are those types of philosophies that maybe you try to instill in the team when you've got them with you, for the season and the bit of practice time and off-season time you get with them?
Yeah, it's really just understanding just how team sport works and just how you have to have everybody on the same page in order to make it work. It's never going to be just one guy. Of course, you're going to have your stars, your leading scorers, your leading rebounders, all those statistical metrics that we use to judge whether or not a player is good or not. But for basketball and a team sport, it's all the things that go into what makes a team, what drives a team, and just emphasizing those things over and over and over and over again. Accountability, character, thankfulness, unity, passion. Those are kind of the 5 things that we look for and the things that we try to drive home every single day. Whether we win or we lose, it's a long season. As long as you're doing it with good people that have the same kind of mission and same vision in mind as you do, you can get through the end of a season like we did this year and be playing your best and ultimately have that big prize.
So I know you're a former Division I basketball player. Do you think that holds any weight with the guys in the locker room, especially knowing that you've been there, you've been to the NCAA tournament, you've won championships, and you've been on the bench with some great coaches over the years?
I think it does. I'm fairly young enough and not injured enough to where I'll get out there every now and again from time to time with the guys, and so I think that builds that. But also just being very honest and open with the guys and letting them know what it is. I've told them my whole story, and I tell every team my whole story. This was our 11th NCAA tournament that we've been to, so to understand how fortunate you are, and that doesn't just happen.
Sure.
But all the things that go into that led to that, and all I did was surround myself with great people and just tried to do the right thing all the time. Doesn't mean you always do the right thing, but as long as you're making that consistent effort to make that happen, good things will happen for you if you do it with the right kind of people. And so to your earlier question, that's what we try to emphasize and bring those types of guys into the program.
And this is your first head coaching job, correct?
Correct.
What's the off season look like now? Are you watching any NCAA tournament right now, or do you turn it off and get away from it?
The funny thing is when we didn't make the tournament the 2 years prior, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
And since we made it, I watched it. So this is like the first year I've actually watched it. But been some great games. You see parity all across the board, and I think that's going to continue on. And I think that's the exciting thing for us and our program moving forward. As we got a little bit of taste of what that can look like now, I think our guys will be even more motivated than ever before to get back and try to actually advance in the tournament now as well.
Well, we could talk forever, Brad, but we're getting the sign to go. Congratulations to you and congratulations to the team.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, that's Coach Brad Korn, and to end our show, we'll meet with the President and CEO of the Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce, Rob Gilligan. That's all next on Cape Chronicle.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. Rob Gilligan has been the president and CEO of the Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce since April 2022. The Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce is made up of more than 800 businesses. Rob, welcome.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Good to see you. So almost a year now you've been on the job.
I am. Yeah, I'm just right around 50 weeks right now. So we'll get through the annual dinner, the annual celebration of activity and the community and the region, and then that'll kind of transition into my second year and some just the great opportunities here in Cape Girardeau.
So real quickly, quick background, where are you from?
Sure.
What brought you here?
Yeah, so originally grew up in Emporia, Kansas, east central side of the state. Community somewhat similar to Cape Girardeau, a regional community, served kind of a 5-county region there. Home to a state university, Emporia State University. Also started out as a normal school, similar to SEMO. So some similar histories there. Really just came here because of the job opportunity.
Sure.
Had some familiarity with the community, with some of the great opportunities here in Southeast Missouri, and when the opportunity came to look at the job with the Chamber of Commerce, and looking at where we were at and career and opportunity for my household, we thought, this seems like a great place, and we've been here now for a year and haven't regretted a day of it. It's awesome.
So a year in, you're sticking around.
Yeah, we really enjoy the community. Kelly, my partner, has a job at SEMO, and she's a faculty member in the Department of Psychology, and we're just finding a great welcoming community, but more importantly, a community of opportunity and a region of opportunity, and the Chamber plays such a critical role in helping the community to kind of come together and work as a region to grow, and to me, the things are just set up awesome for the opportunities in Southeast Missouri, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
Well, I was going to mention that I know you dug right in, right off the bat to strategic planning and that sort of thing, but I know you really look at how can Cape work with the region as a whole to make Southeast Missouri better?
Yeah, one of the things that we've learned as we look at communities and we look at the dynamics of population shifts, of technology, of industry and business, is that we can't be so focused on one simple place or one community, but instead we're impacted by the broader region we serve. Cape Girardeau, of course, being a pretty big service region for most of Southeast Missouri, Southern Illinois, even stepping into and touching into a little bit of Kentucky and Tennessee and Arkansas, that'll do business and engage here. And so the success of our community in our region, of our members, the 800 that we identified, is as much based on the success of Cape Girardeau as it is the success of the broader region of the community of the region. So how can we support and be partners with members, communities, organizations beyond the borders of Cape Girardeau to grow the region? And so to me, that's going to be the focus of the Cape Chamber, how we can be good community and regional partners, and how we can leverage the assets of Southeast Missouri to the benefit of all of us.
And what are some of those things you've identified as, okay, these are key things that we're going to look to go after?
Sure. So early on, one of the things that we spend a lot of times, Chambers of Commerce, obviously focus on business growth and opportunity. There's some real great assets here for innovation. The work that's being done through Codify, through the university, and new programs and opportunities for new and growing career pathways, expansion of services and educational pathways through the public school system, the CTC, Mineral Area College being added into the mix here in Cape Girardeau, Rankin coming down into the region with a new investment in Perryville, and of course Three Rivers College that has an office based out of Sykeston. There's a lot of educational training. There's a lot of workforce development. Southeast Missouri and really the Midwest are known for work ethic, which is a great asset for businesses and industry, and people are looking to grow. And really, there's a lot of just community opportunity. You just spent the last 20 minutes really talking about things that make for a good quality of life: a university, a great athletics program, entertainment, let alone the arts that occur in the community, and music that you're a part of, that scene. So all those pieces together make for a great opportunity for Southeast Missouri.
If there are things that you think that we could improve upon in our area, Southeast Missouri, Cape Girardeau, what are some of those things that you've identified?
I think that we talk a lot about partnerships, and that's probably where we can make the most impact the quickest, is by working together as organizations in our community, whether it's our peer organizations, so the effort that we'll make in working with our peer chambers of commerce throughout the region, the partners in the community, educational partners working together to build, local government partners working together to build, business community working together. not just in our communities but in our region, that's probably the lowest hanging fruit where we can really start to strive. We find, things are always done easier and more quickly if everybody comes together and works as a team. And I think that's where the best opportunity exists currently, is start building that regional team.
So uniting that voice and getting that voice in front of Jefferson City.
Yeah, being visible in front of the state legislature, having a visibility at the federal level. One of the great benefits, we've got great leadership and representation from our district, the Southeast, the 8th Congressional District, with Representative Smith and the role that he plays. And so what are those opportunities that we have working at both the federal level, at the state level, and can really strive to put together resources here to grow Southeast Missouri?
So, as we mentioned, about a year in, any surprises that stick out, or opportunities that maybe you didn't expect?
Sure. Think about surprises. The diversity of resources available in Southeast Missouri, and spending time in all the communities we've been, finding unique shops, unique businesses to do business with, opportunities to find entertainment, whether it's the winery scene of Southeast Missouri and Southern Illinois, or the different various restaurants throughout the region that can provide entertainment, and then the community assets we have that the community invests in that are real, true. We spend some time, obviously, as a member of the Cape Chamber Board. We talk about the impact that tourism has here, and when you think about the Sportsplex and what that drives here on a weekly basis with visitors from throughout the Midwest, right, coming from Missouri and Illinois and Ohio and Iowa and Kansas and Arkansas, to travel here and spend time, and the experience they have, something I didn't know we had, but what a great opportunity.
Well, I think to your point, I get a chance to talk to so many people about things happening in Cape Girardeau that didn't really know about, and until you're kind of submersed in it, there's a lot of story to tell to those that live here and those that we'd like to come and see live here.
You bet. Yeah.
So real quickly, in your downtime, when you're not putting on the chamber hat, what do you like to do?
So we've really enjoyed exploring the region so far, doing some travel. We've got friends in Memphis and in St. Louis, so spent time in both communities. A little bit of a trip over to Nashville. I like live music a lot, and so anytime I can see a concert, Kelly and I tend to find our way that way.
All right. Well, Rob, it's been a fun year so far, and best of luck on the year ahead. Thank you again for joining us for Cape Chronicle. The program is a collaboration between the Department of Mass Communications at Southeast Missouri State University, the City of Cape Girardeau, and River Radio. Our executive producer is Eun Jeong Lee, and I'm Mike Renick. Thank you.